Joining us now is former Defense Department official and the Marathon Initiative principal, Elbridge Colby. Bridge, good to see you. How seriously should we be taking these threats that are coming from China?
Unfortunately, extremely seriously. I think the speaker is correct, but we also need to see very clearly what's going on. I mean, we don't need to speculate. Xi Jinping has essentially openly directed the Chinese military to be ready to invade and occupy Taiwan by 2027. They've initiating a massive nuclear buildup. They've got the world's largest industrial base and shipbuilding industry. We saw what they did after Speaker Pelosi's visit. So unfortunately, Xi Jinping, say what you will about him, he's serious as a heart attack, and we have to take him very seriously.
Yeah, I can sit here, Bridge, and go through a very long list of things China has done, ordered authorities to build a massive combat hospital, 18 air raid shelters on China's east coast, passing a new law designed to commute the sentences of incarcerated criminals if they fight on the front lines of any conflict, on and on and on. But maybe it's sooner than, what did you say, 2027? What in the hell are we doing about it? Are we allied enough with nations from, say, Australia to Japan to take on an aggressive China? Because China is lined up Saudi Arabia, Iran, and Russia. I could go on as new allies.
Well, I think you're exactly right, Dagan. I mean, Taiwan is of critical importance to the United States. In my view, it is worth defending with the idea of deterring a conflict by being ready and making clear to the Chinese they would fail. On the other hand, it's not an existential interest. It's not Texas or Alabama or Maine or Michigan or what have you, right? So if it gets too costly for us, we're going to have to face some really tough decisions. And the Chinese are not, Iran, they're not Russia. They're 10 times the economic size, and they're really focusing on it. And the things you're talking about are exactly right. What I'm disturbed about a little bit, I think it's great that we're demonstrating solidarity with Taiwan, but what I've been unnerved by, including in President Tsai's comments, is a sort of framing of this as a democracy versus autocracy, and there's some truth to this. But look, at the end of the day, you're not going to defeat the PLA with Taiwan flag hashtags. You're going to defeat it with cold, hard steel. I'm sorry, it's that simple. It sounds old-fashioned, but I think that's one of the lessons of the Ukraine conflict. And the problem is a lot of our political class and our foreign policy establishment are acting as if, hey, if we say that we stand resolutely, that China will be deterred. No. This is a party that won the Civil War brutally through aggressive force. It took over Tibet. It launched human waves attack in Korea, et cetera. Xi Jinping's own father was a general at that time. So that's the kind of level we need to be prepared at, and we're not prepared. And I think that's also the message that we really need to drive home to Tsai and Wen, to be fair, honestly. We're spending 3.5% of our GDP every year on defense. They're only spending 2.5%, but they're right next to China. So I think if we want to have a fair shot together, and I think we should be doing this together, they've got to really step up, and that's not what they're doing.
As Joe Biden says, China is a competitor, right? Others will say they're a strategic enemy. The L.A. consulate for China came out with this statement. They said this is repeating a disastrous mistake, will further damage China-U.S. relations and compound the Chinese people's resolute hatred of the common enemy. After this meeting, that's what they said. I believe they're referring to us as the common enemy. They have no problem calling America an enemy, but Joe Biden won't do the same for China.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think it's a Chinese phrase, you got to begin by recognizing things for what they are. The other thing, Sean, that Xi Jinping himself said that really got my attention was after being locked down in COVID for 3 years, his first visit was to Vladimir Putin, spent 3, chummy days together. And at the end, he said, changes are coming that have not been seen in 100 years. And I thought to myself, well, it's been a pretty terrible 100 years. What does he have in mind? So I think that's the sort of level of seriousness and sobriety. And I think there's a lot of kind of like hashtag defense foreign policy sort of stuff that just ain't going to cut it with these guys. They're much more ruthless than that. And we don't have a lot of time. In fact, we have no time. I mean, it sounds picayune, but, for instance, Senator Vance was talking about this, I think, very articulately the other day. Essentially getting our defense industrial base ready and producing the kind of munitions we know we need, fixing our shipping, et cetera, our submarines, that's going to take years. So we can't act like we've already fixed that problem. And that's where a lot of official Washington is, which is not looking the problem in the face. And that's what the American people deserve.
Elbridge Colby, thank you. Appreciate it.